Hello, everybody. Hi. All right. For some reason, my Go Live button is not lit up, but it is lit up in YouTube. Just it's not in OBS. So let me know if you can hear me. I know there's a slight delay from when I'm talking and when you can respond. I'm going to start saying hi to a few people here in the meantime. Hi, Lisa Ann, who is traveling and listening at the same time. So cool. Hi, Danny. Good to see you. Mama Squirrel, hey. Lynn Skinner, hello, and thank you for moderating. The Setter Groomer, hello, sister friends. Listening while grooming dogs tonight. I was going to say, is that what you do? Oh, that's so cool. Okay, Sherry from Canada. Hello, Ruth. Hi, good to see you, Ruth Carroll. All right. Rhonda Delph, good to see you back. Elizabeth Murphy, hello again. Donna Miller, hey. Donna Miller, Steve French, hello again. Good to see you back too. All right, and you can hear me. Yes. All right, fantastic. All right, a little bit of housekeeping. I know a bunch of you went ahead last week and subscribed or started watching content for Cozy Gaming Mom, who is going through a difficult time right now and can use the little bit, sorry, I don't know why my dishes are here. I don't even eat in here. They must have been in my hands when I walked in here before, but I'm gonna get them off my desk. Oh my goodness. A couple of you have said that you went over there and subscribed and started watching stuff, and so thank you. I mean, if that's the smallest thing we can do as a community as sister friends, right? To support each other and help each other along, and it's free to watch content, right? You can go ahead and watch the content. Yes, you have to deal with a commercial here and there, and that stinks, but other than that, it's free for you, and then that gives some money to the content creators by watching the commercials. So thank you for doing that. All right. Also, Sunday, I'll be live with James again, 7 p.m. I believe. I just didn't expect him to go live that early. I was still coming home from my mom's house for Mother's Day last Sunday when he went live. And he did send me, before he went live, like at 6:30, he did send me an email, but I just at that point wasn't expecting it. Throughout the day, I was just kind of checking because he usually does respond earlier. And I just thought, oh, well, he's probably busy and it's Mother's Day, and maybe he'll go at the same time today and change it next week, or maybe he'll go an hour earlier. I'll be prepared by 9 o'clock just in case. So I was not expecting him to go live at 7. He really bumped it up 3 hours. So it was good to see you all there. I saw so many of you on the live, and it does stream on his channel and it streams on my channel as well. Let's see, what else? Oh, Danny, you love it when we go live. I love it when we go live too. It's a lot of fun. Mom Squirrel, like it too. Yes. Oh, I see Lynn said hi, Valadia, so I missed you in there. I am so sorry, Valadia. Hello to you too, Valadia. Sorry I missed saying hello to you. Sometimes I skip over. Dee Dee, hello. Hello, sister friends. Also, want to do my normal disclaimer. Well, it's not normal because I forget it often, but this is for entertainment purposes. I am not a reporter. This is not meant to be taken as gospel truth, and we know nothing in this book is gospel truth anyway, so why do I even need to say this? But my whole channel is for entertainment purposes, so if I get something wrong, by all means you can correct me. I have no problem with correcting me, but you don't need to get upset and correct me. But sometimes I just laugh when I read the comments, and I'm like, out of all the things to get upset about in the world, I need to have some of these other people's lives who got nothing better to do but get upset about silly little things on a YouTube channel. Anywho, just enjoy yourselves. That's it. That's all I'm asking. Enjoy yourselves. Is it too, am I too dark? Should I turn off the light behind me? Let me do that. Hang on a second. should be better. Maybe you can see me a little bit better. All right. Excellent. KB, hello. Good to see you. Valadia, Cozy is so sweet, and I'm praying for her. Yeah, she is. She's a sweetheart. And I'm sure a lot of you follow her already anyway, because we all kind of follow the same type of people, I would say, if you will. Content creators that are like James and Reality Amanda and Sarah from Sarah Spills and the other one, the main one that I watch. Sarah Speaks? No, that's not it. Shoot, Reality? Sarah? Oh, Lordy, it'll come to me. But people who don't give you anxiety and stress you out. It's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So, yes, we are going to have a good time today. And thank you again for watching Cozy's content. Any way we can support her, I appreciate it. Because God only knows we've all been through difficult times, right? And a lot of times, in those times, every penny counts. So, and on that note, thank you all for watching my content. I love you all, sister friends. I feel like I know you. Just to give you a little peek behind the curtain, I have been looking into doing channel subscriptions, but I might not. I might do a Patreon instead, because I kind of like the book club idea. I feel like the copyright stuff is a little looser on Patreon from what I'm understanding. And a couple other people have mentioned that too. And I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun to like maybe do the Darkers book after this, or maybe doing Jill's Counting On book after this, or something, like something kind of in this world. Reality Tea Squad. Yes, Reality Squad. Thank you very much, Lynn Skinner. That's Sarah's channel. People who are fun to listen to who don't give you anxiety. This is my mantra in life. Life's too short. All right. Tennessee Rose, hello. Good to see you. Bethany, good to see you too. So I might end up going the route of Patreon so I can keep the book club stuff going. So we'll see. I never thought I'd do a Patreon. In fact, I think I almost promised I never would do a Patreon. But I also like the idea that you get little badges and icons on channel subscriptions on this channel. So I think that's cute. But maybe there's something that they have like that on Patreon. I don't know. Anyway, just looking into it, looking into different options. But one of the options I thought if I did do that on Patreon is offering it like one of the because they always say, you should have 3 levels. At the highest level, that like once a quarter, we could have a Zoom link where we could all get on Zoom and talk together so we can see each other's faces. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Love to put a face to a name. All right. Just an idea. All right. Ruth Carroll. Oh, down the rabbit hole at bedtime. Yes, I like her too. She's sweet. She's very sweet. Okay. Danny, you're going to get me to get a Patreon. You're going to get me to do a Patreon if you're going to read books. So you like the book readings. I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm trying to stay within the rules and regulations, and that's making sure that I never read more than a chapter. That's stopping often throughout it and giving my commentary or talking to the chat or something like that in between. Mostly commentary and opinion on it, and then your chat is often related to the commentary and opinion. So I figure we're all in the clear. But just in case, because there's mean people in the world who will report you for whatever, and I don't know, I guess it depends on who's reviewing it at the time. If they have a bee in their bonnet, they could take my channel down. I don't like that. So I was thinking, I wonder if there's a way I can actually, after we complete this book club, move it over to the Patreon so it's there kind of like in the archives, and then start another book over there. I don't know. Just thinking. All right. Athena. All right, you'll join my Patreon. That's wonderful. You know what? I'd be happy if there's just like 2 or 3 people. Because I'm thinking, I don't know, who's going to do this? Of course, all you sister friends will. All right. Still looking into it, still looking into the details of it. So I don't have it worked out, and I want to make it worthwhile. And I've heard everything from... trust me, I'm watching every YouTube video on it and comparing it to channel subscriptions on YouTube and all that. And just, it really seems that Patreon is winning in all areas, except that we don't have the cute little icon gems or whatever that say you're a subscriber. So, but you know what I could do is, if you're a Patreon subscriber, like at the different levels, like maybe starting at level 2 of the 3 that they want you to do, I could have a banner that scrolls across my lives when I go live on YouTube and have everybody's name. See, there you go. Even better. Better than the little gemstone. I'll just have the names running across. That's what I was thinking of anyway. I don't know. I was trying to figure out a way to make both happen at the same time. All right, here we go. Holy Omega. I'm glad you made it too. Good to see you. Ian, you're here. Yay. Hi, Ian. Good to see you. Welcome. Donna Miller, did I say hello? Bethany, I think I did. I think I caught you all. Linda Kohler, I don't think I said hi. Hi, Linda Kohler. I know I got you, Tennessee Rose. Going back. Ian, Holly Omega, which is a really cool name. I really like that. I'm glad you made it too. All right. And I am thrilled that our shared border neighbors are watching from Canada as well. And I know there's a bunch of you Ian, are you in Ireland? Because I know Ian is an Irish name, correct? Because when I went to look it up to make sure I was pronouncing it correct, I thought it was so I'm wondering if you're from Ireland. But I know we have a lot of people very late at night overseas there in Europe, and I know we have a lot of Australians that like to watch this as well. So welcome to all of you as well who are here. And if you're from another country I haven't mentioned, let me know. England, Ireland, Australia, Canada are the biggest ones for sure. All right, Tina, hello and welcome to your first live. So glad you're here. All right, is it showing up on my screen? It is. Yay. All right, we are in business. We are reading chapter 9 today, which is Meri's chapter, and we're starting a new section of the book called Family. So I don't know what that means because everything is family, so we will see. Okay. Before I get going here, am I loud enough? At the last live, I think it was the last one, somebody said, like and subscribe. Yes, Lynn, thanks so much. Somebody mentioned that it was too low and they have to turn it all the way up. I was having microphone problems there for a short bit, so some of my videos are softer. And one, it wasn't even on. But I had a disclaimer at the front that said, turn up your volume so you can hear this on as high as you can go, and then you'll be able to, it'll sound like I'm whispering to you. Steve is from Canada. Welcome, Canada. Very good. You can hear me clearly. Excellent. All right. No, actually, I think it was 2 sessions ago, it was too soft. And then the last one I was thinking might have been too hot and too loud. So if it seems too loud and if I start, hi, Becky, I don't think I said hello to you. And Jessica, I didn't see you either. Thank you. Thank you. You love my nails. I think if it's too loud and pitchy, like if you hear the plosives, the tip, those kind of sounds are really high, just let me know. Otherwise, we'll just leave it as is. And on the nails, let me tell you that when I got these done, did I say this last time? My nail tech guy, when I said the color that I wanted, and he thought it was the one next to it, and I've been going to him for a while, so maybe he's just kind of used to sort of the colors I normally choose, although I have been doing the robin blue and the Tiffany blue, and I've been doing some funkier ones lately. When I did he goes, oh, the yellow. And I said, no, that one, not, he was picking the wrong one. And I said, the other. He goes, are you sure? Are you sure you want yellow? And I was like, yes. Why? Do I look too old? Do you have something to say? I'm channeling my youth here and spring. And let me tell you, as opposed to the blue, although the blue is beautiful, yellow goes with everything. I was thinking, I'm going to have another 2 to 3 weeks of not having anything that matches it. That Tiffany blue and the robin blue colors, very difficult to find things in my wardrobe that match it. But everything I have put on in the past week has matched the yellow. Yellow goes with everything. Who knew? So you feel like being funky and putting on a different color on your nails? Go with yellow. Goes with everything. Okay, we're going to get started here. Wendy, hello. Good to see you. Welcome. And I'm glad it all sounds good. And Becky, like yayo. I yayo too. Okay, Meri Chapter 9. I should not start talking silly now before I start reading, or you're not going to understand me. Oh, shoot. I'm going to need that fan on. Let me send a text message to my son. All right, we'll see if he gets it. He's doing not a live stream, but he's doing some sort of online gaming with a bunch of friends from college right now. So we'll see if he reads it. All right, yellow is the manicure color this summer. So I'm on trend. Look at that. Who knew? I'm on trend. Yes, follow Senior Perspective for the latest trends going in America. Oh, that's funny. Okay, can you turn that on? Thank you. And then turn off the light, but leave the fan going.
It's just this one, right?
Is it? Oh, shoot. Yeah, it is. Can you make the fan go higher? By chance?
I assume I
Awesome. That's it. That's on high. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. All right, we're ready to go. Here we go. Meri Chapter 9. People always ask... Let me start over. It's going to be a long night, people. All right. Make sure I get the chat going here. Okay. All right. People always ask us if we have a system for running our family, especially for raising our kids. Every time we seem to get some sort of system in place, things change. We move. We change jobs. Our kids grow up. And the whole thing reinvents itself. It should be, we move, and we move, and we move, and we move. That's funny. Child labor, I love it. I know. I love it when he's home. I get so much stuff done. Can you feed the cats? All right, I'll probably send up a text right around 9 o'clock for that too. All right, let me go on. Where was I? I'm sorry. Just getting started. All right, but I thought that was funny, actually, that they write, we get a system in place and then we move. We change jobs, our kids grow up, the whole thing reinvents itself. It's more like we move, we change jobs, we move, our kids grow up, we move, we move. All right. One of the biggest challenges we faced in figuring out how polygamy would work for us was learning how each wife would maintain her own autonomy while being an important part of the family. When Janelle and Cody first married, the three of us shared a bank account. It wasn't long before we learned that this wasn't an ideal situation. Oh, are we going to be talking finances? Okay, well, that's just good info for me to know in general. I didn't realize that they started off all with one bank account, and early on realized it wasn't ideal. This gives me a little bit of hope. A little bit of hope that maybe Janelle had some money stashed somewhere. I don't know, we'll see. Okay. For anyone, money is a tricky subject. Our situation was particularly delicate since we were all new to polygamy. And since one person refused to contribute to the pot. Just saying. All right. Our joint bank account was definitely a big part of the struggles we had as a new plural family. When it was just Cody and me, we shared a bank account. All purchases came out of this account, and we paid all the bills from this account. Since it was just the two of us, it was easy to know what we needed and what finances we had available to us. It was comfortable for the two of us both. It was comfortable for the two of us to both use the same account. We would talk about what bills needed to be paid and what purchases we wanted to make, either individually or as a household. Although we both had access to the account and Cody took some part of it, I usually paid the bills each month. What? What's that mean? Hold on a second. Although we both had access to the account and Cody took some part of it, I usually paid the bills each month. Is Meri saying that she didn't take any part of it? That she would just pay the bills and then he would take stuff? Donna Miller, are you recommending garnet and gold for nails? What color is garnet? I'll have to look that up. I'm not even sure. Is that the new trend? Y'all are going to make me trendy on this channel. If by nothing else, my fingernails. Because y'all know my clothes are all from Salvation Army. Yes, this one too. I love me a Salvation Army, at least mine. It's pretty great. All right. Cody took some part of it. That's interesting. I wonder if she's trying to give him a little backhanded slap without anyone else knowing. Like there's like a covert line right there to let him know, I knew you were taking money. All right. Deep dark red. Is that another color for my nails? I do that at Christmas time. I do the dark red at Christmas time, for sure. All right. Philadia sounds about right with Cody, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so. When Janelle came into the family, we added her to the bank account. I don't think any of us really thought about how this would affect us as a whole. Even back then, we would all discuss what the income was each month and what needed to be paid. We worked out a budget for the family, including a grocery budget, a budget for the bills, and our own personal spending budget. We were young and new in our jobs and careers, so there wasn't usually an abundance of spending money. Because Cody kept, what did she say? Taking a part of it. Of course there wasn't. Deep dark red. I get it. And that's why Lynn said, gotcha. Thank you. Thank you, S.N. Anders. Garnet is a deep dark red. So deep dark red and gold? Oh. Interesting. Wait, together, like with nail art, or either or? Those are the two popular colors. Okay. All you men who are watching could care less right now. I apologize. I'll keep going. Oh, okay. Oh. Garnet and gold. I use fake nails, but black as a third color. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to look it up and see what people did. I don't do nail art that often just because I'm cheap. But on occasion, you saw my Cleveland Browns helmet stripe last year on my nail. I did that one. I'll probably do that again at some point if they do as they're supposed to this year and are successful. All right, don't get me started on the Cleveland Browns. I could talk to you all day about that. Okay. We were young. There wasn't an abundance of spending money. We'd have to save up if we wanted something special. Cody was in sales, so there were times when he would have a particularly good month, and we could put that extra money into either paying down a bill or toward something that we had been saving for. While the three of us always discussed where the money would go each month, I was still usually the one who actually paid the bills and divided up the budget. At the time, I saw no problem with this, only to realize later that Janelle felt that I was controlling the finances. In my mind, since we had all discussed it as a family, I was only executing the decision that the three of us had already made. I realize now how detrimental this has been to my relationship with Janelle. All right, this definitely sounds like a reaction to something Janelle's going to say in her chapter. Remember, we learned that they all wrote their stuff, but then they all shared it with each other so that the other people knew what they were saying, so that they could add in their chapters, like rebuttals, if you will, or comment about it. It sounds like she is addressing the elephant in the room before the elephant has entered the room, but knowing it's coming. Okay. Oops, let me just get rid of my text message here. I got too many things opened on my, okay. Very good. All right. Does anyone think when it comes to Cody was in sales, so every now and then we would have a windfall of money come in from a big sale, is translated to Cody is in sales, he brought home no money until he finally sold something, and then we would have some extra money. That's what I think it is, quite frankly. Call me crazy, but that's what I think it is. Okay. I mean, some sales are like that. I wonder, and some of them don't even have a base salary, that you're solely on commission. And he would be just that dumb to be a polygamist and have a career, which was, oh goodness, all on commission. All right. I'm just trying to see, did my stream show up okay for all of you? I have a message here. I don't see it in my other account popping up. But I guess you all got on, so, but I don't think my other account might not be actually following it. I guess if you just go to Senior Perspective, it's there. Okay. Moving on. My apologies. Technical problems. All right. Okay, yes, we are talking money now. Yes, no contribution from Cody until he sold something, but in the meantime, he was buying all the hair dye. And maybe perm stuff too, who knows, I don't know. His hair's so frizzy, it could naturally kind of be curly like that, and he just learned how to do products, but I don't know. Those ringlets are pretty ringlety. So I do think it could be a perm. Although a perm and color of your hair is like, it's going to fall out, and that's the last thing that he needs. All right, I am sure that Meri was as good at spending money as Cody. It could be. She does like nice things. I bet Janelle was sick of working and contributing and the other two spending. I totally could see that. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. I used to have, there it is. Whoop. If you guys could see how many chats and boxes and windows and everything I have open, it's crazy. And true, Lynn, in fairness to Meri, later on, Janelle said she thought Meri would be fair if Cody passed away in terms of delegating the money. Yeah. Now, and she did say that. They all said that is definitely a characteristic of Meri, right? That she is she believed that she was a fair person. She did trust. And, you know, she never pushed for Meri relinquishing that any other time and, you know, letting Janelle, because she would be the logical one. I do love, though, that Janelle made a point of being very uncomfortable when the relinquishment happened because she divorced and Robin married him, to basically point out, I am not comfortable with Robin taking over this responsibility. I like that she pointed that out without pointing it out, but we can all read between the lines. Okay, or read between the lions. Is that still on PBS? That was a show my kids used to watch all the time on PBS, Read Between the Lions. And they were like lion animals that would do reading. They had the cliffhanger thing, and the guy's name was Cliff, and he would hang off a cliff, and he'd be like, hi, I'm Cliff, cliffhanger. Anyway, okay. I'm reliving my past. Oh, those were good times when the kids were little. Okay. I need to do this. I had a rough day today, just trying to work Christmas out. And Christmas doesn't seem like it's going to work out for the whole family to be together. And it would be the first Christmas of my life that I don't have all three of my kids together at the same time. It doesn't even have to be on Christmas Day. Any other day. The week before, the week after. It is absolutely not working out. And I had a lot of anxiety today, so this is making me very happy to just read it and smile. Okay. Cody was in sales. We talked about that. We discussed where the money would go. And then she realized that this was detrimental to her relationship with Janelle. That's where we left off. Looking back, I don't remember when we actually decided to get our own bank accounts. I can only assume that one or all of us discovered that having only one account didn't give each of us, including Cody, our own autonomy, which is very important in a family structure like ours. When we got our own bank accounts, Janelle and I were able to start creating our own autonomy. We didn't have autonomy twice, 2 sentences back to back. We didn't have to check in with each other about our spending. We didn't have to be concerned about whether the other would disapprove of a particular purchase. We could handle our financial affairs as we liked and feel that we were individuals who contributed to the same family. Ever since we made this decision, Janelle and I, and subsequently the other sister wives, have kept our finances separate. As our family has grown, the way we handle our finances continues to evolve. The most effective way we have found to manage our money thus far is for each of us to take our own ownership of certain family bills, whether it's a mortgage, a cell phone bill, the car payment. Even though the bills we pay may not be technically in our own name, we divide them based on each person's income level. Having a large family as we do, there are often major expenses. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a second because there's no mention, and maybe it's just my interpretation of the way she's saying this. I'm getting the impression that all the wives had their own bank accounts. So was Cody, did he have like free access to the family account? Did they all have to contribute to an account for Cody? I'm really curious how this worked out. I mean, he probably got his own bank account by the time TLC came around so that he had that money pulled aside too. He probably wouldn't want it to go into the family account and for fear that somebody might take part of his money. But that's just me speculating. All right, I just realized my whole chat is behind my screen now. All right. Anyone remember Rugrats? Oh, are we talking about old cartoons now? Okay. All right. Okay. So you guys are talking about finances. Ian shares, but once they separated, Cody stopped giving everything he made to the family. All right. So like separate. Like once Christine left, he stopped giving. Because, right, I had heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe you guys have already said this in the back. It was the family account became TLC money. So all the TLC money, which makes sense because TLC pays a family as a family. So it's like a lump sum. They don't give individual amounts. I mean, they will now because of the separation. But when you're all an immediate family, you just get one payment. And then everybody could have their other separate bank accounts. Julianne, I think Cody's first job was a Kirby vacuum sales. Oh, and after Christine was added, he was a Schwan food delivery sales. I saw the Schwan food truck actually go down my street last summer. I didn't know they still did that, but they do. They came down my street, and we got the flyers on our doors too. Hey, you want to get food? And Kirby vacuum, that's funny. I used to have a Kirby vacuum. Not anymore, but I used to. Okay. All right, so we'll see. And if I don't catch up with it, then I will see it either later tonight or tomorrow when I go back and reread everything in the chat. Okay, so Ian is saying no, they had an account. They all got their own account, but the wives were responsible for supporting themselves. But what about where was the family account? Because they kept talking about this family account that they were putting money into that was going to pay off Coyote Pass. Unless you were responding to somebody else. You could have been responding to somebody else. All right, because there's a lot going on here in the chat. All right. Let's keep going. Yeah. Nikki Noel for the algorithm. You just cracked me up. She did that once before. 456 minus 443 equals 13. Thank you very much for contributing to the algorithm and writing something in the chat. Okay. All right. All right. Having a large family, as we do, there are often major expenses. There have been times for each of us when we needed help from the family as a group to take care of a certain issue. Usually, if a wife needs help with something, she will talk to Cody about it. Many times, Cody's help is all that's needed. There have been times, however, when he will go to another wife or wives to see who is financially able to pool resources and get a particularly tight financial situation taken care of. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So at least at the beginning, they completely had separate accounts. And then I guess they just each contributed the same amount when it came to mortgage when they were all in the same home. And probably, I don't know if those 3 units functioned as like if it was listed as an apartment complex or if it was listed as a house. Because if it was listed as an apartment complex, then each unit would have its own. Well, but they bought it. All right, so I don't know if it was listed as a condo with 3 separate units in it or just one house. If it was one house, then they would have had all the utilities and their mortgage put together in one payment that they would have had all contribute to. Okay, don't know. I remember one time years ago when that transmission went out in my car. We all knew it was important to have a working vehicle, so we pulled together to get it taken care of. Most of his married life, Cody had been a salesman. As most people know in this line of work, you can have very good months or very bad months. Can I just say I didn't get my Kirby from a salesman though? Apparently Kirby vacuum cleaners you can keep taking them to a Kirby dealer and they'll just keep renovating it to keep it going. On and on. So my mom found one like at a garage sale and then took it into a Kirby thing and had it revamped and gave it to me for like when I bought my first house or something like that. Can't remember. I've never seen a Kirby vacuum salesman, but you hear about them all the time. If you ever watch Mad Men, they sell all those door-to-door salesmen. Okay, I don't know why that popped in my head, but I had to get it out so that I could focus. When he has months that are not so good, we all contribute to get the mortgage paid. On the other hand, when he has a good month and ends up with some unexpected cash in his wallet, we can either play catch up from the bad months, or he has been known to use some of it for something fun. Maybe a special trip with a wife and their kids. All right. So here's the confusing part to me. It implies Cody was the only one that paid the mortgage. Because if he couldn't pay the mortgage, if it was a bad month, we all contributed to get the mortgage paid. So they don't normally all contribute to get the mortgage paid. So wouldn't that mean that Cody was the one that paid the mortgage? Which would probably be the largest expense they had. This is confusing to me. I'm going to have to read if anybody writes anything that they know in here. The way she wrote that, she made it sound like he paid it when he couldn't. We all contributed to help. I don't know. Unless she meant they all normally contribute equally, all the sister wives and Cody, and it still wasn't enough to cover the mortgage, so they contributed more. But they're saying when he had a bad month. Oh, maybe to cover it? I don't know. This is typical Cody Brown, or just Brown family trying to figure it out between dates and stories. And half information. I am left after reading this book with more, and it's not over yet, more questions than answers. All right. Okay, so when he had a good month, instead of just paying his mortgage, they decided to either play catch up on bills, so they had past due bills, or go on a vacation. Let's see, what's the responsible decision here? Okay, our first commitment is always to the family. However, as the kids have grown older, and we've moved into separate households, we've begun to live a little more independently from one another. We look after our own kids, our own homes, and take care of our business in our own way. But this wasn't always the case. When our oldest kids were young, Janelle worked full-time and Christine worked part-time. So for the majority of the day, I was a stay-at-home mom. Interesting. I didn't know that. Janelle worked full-time. I knew that. Christine, I did know she worked part-time, but so for the majority of the day, I was a stay-at-home mom. Why didn't she have a job? Just because they were little? I mean, Christine was part-time. Why wasn't Meri part-time? Oh, I have so many questions. Okay. In a lot of areas, I'm a lot more particular about certain things than my sister wives are. I tend to like a little more order and quiet. And I have clear ideas about when and how to discipline the kids. I really struggle when I see the kids being disrespectful to their parents. It has always been very important to me that our children grow up with a strong sense of respect for both people and things. When the kids were young, I tried very hard to instill this in them. I wanted them to respect one another by playing nicely together and getting along. I wanted them to respect their parents by being obedient and not talking back when asked to do something. When I see one of our children do this, it sure gets my Irish up. I also think it's necessary for children to respect things. This could be each other's toys, their private space, and yes, this could also be furniture. I'm the type of mom who doesn't allow jumping on furniture. Oh, that's no boo. It's no fun. I mean, kids are so little. They don't really hurt the furniture when you jump on it. Oh, jumping on furniture is fun. I mean, unless it looks dangerous. Not for extended periods of time, and only under supervision. I guess they could jump on the couch. I don't think my kids were big jumpers. I don't think they did it that often. If you go to a hotel room, they'd always want to jump on the beds for whatever reason. I don't know. All right. But I've always been that neurotic mom that was convinced that jumping on things was going to lead to them hurting themselves. I didn't care about the furniture. Who cares? Furniture can be replaced if it has to be, and if one cushion's lower than the other, so be it. I have kids in my house. But hurting themselves, I tried to avoid. So I definitely was the mom who had the trampoline with the net on it. Okay. I know I have not always been looked too highly upon by some of my sister wives because this makes me seem too strict. But my furniture has definitely outlived some of theirs. I mean, if that's a feather in your cap, so be it. Your furniture lasted longer and the kids are all scared of you. I mean, I don't know. I remember a time years ago when Cody was sort of getting after me because he didn't want the kids to feel like they were walking into a museum when they came into my house. I think, however, that he has mellowed somewhat about that opinion, as he has seen my household furniture last longer than that of my sister wives. She really, yeah. I mean, she's gonna hold that candle and not let it blow out, boy. She is defending her parenting, yelling at the kids and not jumping on things because it will last longer. I don't know. When you have kids, you have to let go and understand that even your favorite thing might get broken. It's just the way it is. Okay. Over the years, I have also learned to relax when it comes to the way the kids act in my home. While I still expect them to treat me and my space with respect and not act like wild animals running through the house, I have become more patient when they do. Back when I took charge of most of the daycare in our family, I was comfortable disciplining all the children, whether Christine's, Janelle's, or mine. Of course, this was easier when the kids were small and their transgressions were fairly innocent. After all, I was the only mother home, with anywhere between 4 and 9 kids, depending on the year. This is all news to me. I have always heard that Christine was the mom that raised all the kids. I am shocked that Meri almost makes it sound like she's a primary caregiver. She did mention over somewhere else that Christine worked part-time, so the majority of the day she was a stay-at-home mom. It can't even be the majority of the day because part-time work, the majority of the day would be if somebody was gone full-time because everybody comes home in the evening and they're home all night. So if you take that daytime and divide it in half so they're gone for 4 hours, 4 hours isn't the majority of the day. Again, more questions. More questions than answers. Somehow this isn't jiving. It's not making sense. This is just eye-opening to me. I did not know any of this. If there was any point that Meri had the kids all by herself. I knew Christine worked, but I always had heard that she worked like nighttime shift. But maybe she was sleeping when she got back, and that's when Meri was taking over? I don't know. Okay. After all, I was the only mother home with anywhere between 4 and 9 kids, depending on the year. If I hadn't felt comfortable disciplining them, the house would have been utter chaos. Well, that's true, Meri. You 100% have to have discipline. I am a huge supporter of discipline. But there's a way to discipline. There's a way to have a gentle tone and to talk to kids like this all the time, and they just run into line. You know, you make them think it's their idea to clean the dishes. Wouldn't it be fun if we had this game where we all picked up 10 things and we could see who did it first? Like, you know, there's a way to get kids to behave and do chores and do it in a way that's not quite as abrasive as it appears Meri may have been. Okay. In defense of Meri, she didn't have this education. I have an undergrad in education and a master's degree in speech language pathology, which has a lot of behavioral classes in it as well. So that helped me when it came to parenting. And most people don't have that luxury of having that kind of education to fall back on. So I get it. Although, didn't she work with at-risk kids? I mean, unless they were really troubled kids, and they needed a firmer hand to discipline them, and then she carried that home with her. I wonder if that's the case. Okay, I'm going to go on. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. Years ago, when we lived in northern Wyoming, when Janelle worked full-time and Christine and I were each working part-time, we adjusted our schedules so that one of us would be home with the kids at all times. This was a particularly good time for our family. We had discovered that it was best for the three of us wives to have our own homes, so we all gained a bit more autonomy and freedom and could raise our children as we wished. While we all had the same basic goals and expectations for our children, we have a different way of handling our home life and structure. Having our own homes allowed us to interact with our own children comfortably and freely without having to worry about if another mom was questioning the way something was being handled. Okay, so now she's referring back to Wyoming, and she said when they were in Wyoming, she was part-time, Christine was part-time, Janelle was full-time, Cody was whatever, whenever he could make a sale. He was just gone. Occasionally had a check that came in that surprised them. So when she's referring to when she was with the kids the majority of the time, I'm thinking that is Lehigh. And that might have been because once some of the kids became school age, I think Christine started teaching at the school. And that would be the majority of the days. That wouldn't have been part-time, although she said she was part-time. But maybe okay, it still doesn't answer the part-time thing. Forget it. Because she wasn't full-time. She was part-time doing that job. I take it back. All right, I'll finish this page and then take a look at the chat. Let me see how, oh my gosh. I saw Meri way in the back, but that's a whole nother section. I thought, how long is this? Okay. Oh, it's still a decently little, oh no, that's Janelle's. Okay. Okay, it's not too long. All right, let me finish up this page and then I'll catch up on the chat with y'all. Okay. Christine and I had our homes on 2.5 acres in the country. Okay, we're still back in Wyoming now. We love to jump around. Okay, so we're still back in Wyoming. Christine and I had our homes on 2.5 acres out in the country, and Janelle had purchased a home in town, about 15 minutes away. She brought her kids over to our house every day while she worked. So the kids were all together all the time. They were one another's best friends. They were constantly building, playing, and creating in our yard. Christine and I had our homes, plural, so there were 2 houses. The grammar of this is confusing to me. They had 2 houses on this, but then she said they would bring the kids over to our house every day while she worked. Like, I guess they alternated, one or the other, or maybe it depended on if Christine was working. I don't know. Okay. They were constantly building, playing, and creating in our yard. On the acreage or your yard? Maybe they just call all the 2.5 acres their yard. Okay. There was so much space to run and play. They created Kids Town, which consisted of old blankets, boards, and lumber, anything they could find to make stores, post offices, and houses. Oh, that sounds like fun, doesn't it? They spent many hours in Kids Town. Since Christine and I lived so close together, okay, we could pop back and forth between our houses with little effort. All the kids knew they were welcome in either home at any time. It was an unwritten rule that whichever mom was at home with the kids could use her best judgment on the discipline needed for individual situations. Okay, this section is called Family. And this sounds like an extremely defensive chapter. of Meri responding to what she knows is coming in the next chapters from the rest of the moms. Doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like this is a whole lot of, I'm explaining myself. There's a reason behind all my madness. That's how I read it anyway. I'm feeling like this is very defensive. We were all pretty comfortable with this, but occasionally we disagreed. In one instance, I was at work and Mariah needed to be disciplined. Oh, she's specifically pointing out. But Mariah, okay, I think this is the big deal that made Mariah not like her. Okay. So Christine handled it. Oh. Oh, Mariah. I'm sorry. I keep thinking that's Leon. Mariah. I was thinking McKelty. Wrong M. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to what my original thought was when I first started reading the sentence. In one instance, I was at work. Mariah needed to be disciplined, so Christine handled it. Okay. So this is her responding to what she knows is in Christine's chapter. She said, and so she's giving an example of, but she disciplined my kids too. She said, when I heard about it later, I was fine with the fact that Christine addressed the problem, but disagreed with the way she punished her. This is crazy. I think this is going to be exactly what Christine writes in hers. I really do think this is a reflection. I feel it was inappropriate and a little extreme. We discussed the issue, and while she might disagree with my opinion on discipline, she was very respectful of my feelings. All right, I'm going to pause right there. I'm going to put a pin in it. We're going to pause right there. I just found that chapter amazing. Not chapter, paragraph. I found that paragraph amazing. Because there's some big deal that happened between McKelty and Meri, and Christine was extremely upset about it, and it became a huge blow-up fight between the two of them, and nothing was ever the same ever since then. Although my understanding is it kind of involved a bunch of the kids, but there was like an incident with McKelty that made her. And so this is Meri knowing that story's in the book and coming up with her own story. Maybe true. I'm not saying it's a lie. Maybe true, may not be true. I don't know. But I find it interesting that Christine's discipline was a little extreme. She doesn't strike me as an extreme discipliner at all. Meri does. I get that. Interesting. Let me put the bookmark here just in case. You want to see my bookmark? I don't know if you can see it. My son, when he was in about 3rd grade, gave me this for Christmas, and it's him holding the bookmark. Isn't that cute? Some teachers are great. Still have it. That was a young man who can reach the light pole that I can't reach. All right, let me take a look at the chat here before we continue on. All right. Let me get back here. Oh, I've missed a whole bunch. I'm not going to be able to catch up on everything, but I'll try to see what I can. Brown family editing at its finest. That's right. All right. What did Donna Miller ask of people? It's going to be too hard for me to find it. There's just too much going on in here. But I love how you're all chatting away. I think it's awesome. Okay, the bucket's coming out quickly today. They had to have it gutted and remodeled to sell, Marissa. Is that the house in Lehigh? Is that what you're talking about? I'm missing everything beforehand. Teresa Skinner, I think they started working their own MLMs to put money in their own account. That makes sense to me. Except, of course, they kept Meri around at the end to keep her money in the account. Yep. And by they, I think it's only Cody and Robin. I don't think Janelle and Christine really cared about Meri's money. I don't think so. Yes, Becky, I agree with you. I bet Cody got to spend his money and then dip into the wives' accounts. Safari Scarlet, hello. I have not said hello to you. I haven't seen you. I remember being a little kid trying to push a Kirby around. Yes, they were heavy, weren't they? That's why I eventually got rid of it too. I mean, they just make them so much lighter and easier to change. You had to put the bag inside of it and take the bag out and shake it out and put the bag back. It was used the same. It was, yeah, anyway, back in the day. But they were hard. They were hard to move around, that is true. Okay. Janelle said she paid the mortgage. All right, Becky. They all paid their mortgages on their houses in Flagstaff for sure. And I think they did also in, but I don't know for certain, but I think they also did in Vegas. But I'm curious how it all worked when they had their own houses in Wyoming. And, okay, well, Donna, this helps. It was a polygamy home, I think. So a polygamy home means it's just a one-family home. So it's not listed as separate ones. I guess that would make sense. They just build it that way. It just seems like there's a lot of building restrictions and codes in certain cities that you can only have, like, if you have a kitchen here, you can only have a kitchen there. You can only, because they want to try to prevent multiple unit dwelling kind of situations like this. Although it was Utah, so maybe they just they don't have those kind of rules and laws there as they do in other states. When the show started, Janelle said she paid the mortgage. Interesting. Because in the book it says when Cody couldn't make the mortgage, all the wives would chip in. But then maybe that was Wyoming. Maybe that was before, although they had different mortgages then. It's so confusing. Oh, let's see. Marissa says that Cody and Janelle took care of the mortgage. Christine and Meri were the little bills, and Robin just whined. I love it. So true. Brown family editing at its finest. Could not have been an editor. And I looked again when I was live with James to just look anywhere where there is the name of an editor, and there isn't. Now, obviously, there's a publishing company, and maybe it's assumed that the publishing company is the editor. I don't know. But this book does, that publishing, Simon & Schuster is a big publishing company, isn't it? It seems weird that they would put their name on this, and maybe they assumed that there would be an editor provided by TLC, or one of them would edit it, and they probably did. That's probably why it's so disjointed. I mean, it feels like they're trying to be deceptive. That's how disjointed it all is, that it makes your head hurt to try to put to different stories and timelines and everything together, especially the way it's set up. I would have much preferred this to be a chronological book, and we keep changing subjects, but we're in the same point of time. So now we're going to talk about marriage, we're going to talk about this, and then each wife, like each paragraph even, could be a different wife, but we're just talking about Janelle's marriage right now. So it would be Janelle and Meri contributing, talking about that time in life, and then going on, and it just, but you know, I told you before, I'm a left brain person. I like things linear like this. This jumping around stuff drives me crazy. All right. Good question to Donna Miller. Not sure what the question was. They had a family meeting about it. The others were not keen on the idea, so I doubt they put their money into it. But where did she get the money? Oh, I bet that's Meri. Meri, when she wanted to buy the Lizzie's B&B. They did have a family meeting about it. Christine kind of seemed in support of it. Robin did her usual, I'm not going to comment, and I'm going to let you all fight it about it. She probably didn't want it, but wouldn't say that. And Janelle said she loves the idea of it and she loves the significance of it, but she would have to go look at the numbers. And that's kind of where she left it, which is very Janelle, right? Cody was against it. He didn't like it at all. You know, what Cody wants, Cody gets. So somehow she got the money to pay for it. I'm thinking she managed to get a loan, actually, that she was able to just save up enough to get a down payment. And then, so she didn't like pay for it outright. Yeah, she wanted to borrow the money from the family account. Oh, that's a good point, Lori. She wasn't really asking them to pay for it. She was asking them to finance it for her. So she wouldn't have to, you know, pay the interest rates on financing. That's a good point. And in the end, they said no, which is just mean. Out of all the dumb things they spend money on, it's just real estate is the one thing they always say is a good thing to invest in. All right. So when did they all live in a trailer with thin walls? That was, they called it, I'm pretty sure that's what they call a house, but it was a trailer. And I think it was, because there was the front of it and the back of it. And Meri gave Janelle the front because it had the larger bedroom, and then she took the back, but I think the back was probably more secluded, so Janelle felt put out because she wasn't consulted, and Meri thought. So I think that was the trailer. And then I think Christine came along as well, and there may have been 2 rooms in the back of the trailer. I'm not 100% sure about that, but Christine was the first to say, I can't do this anymore, and she left and got her own place, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to remember from putting all the random passages, not in sequential order in this book, together. And then eventually Janelle picked up and left, like, I'll be part of the family, but like, I need my space and my distance from all of y'all. So that's kind of how they all ended up with separate properties. And I don't think they ever came back together again. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Oh, Becky, good point. Electricity and food or fun? What does Cody pick? Fun. Let's take a vacation. Maybe it was paid for with inherited money. Yeah, it seems like, though, if we're still talking about Meri's property, if Meri's property was bought with Janelle's inherited money, there would have been something on the show about how Janelle specifically loaned it to her. Unless we're talking about the Lehigh house and how did they buy the Lehigh house. And I believe that Janelle's inherited money came into play there. To help buy that house. Okay. Okay, I think she meant the first 3 kids, then she got a part-time job, and Christine stayed home and worked at night. Okay, that could be. Meri's old family home. Yeah, that's the house in... Oh, you're talking about the Lehigh home. So you were wondering how they paid for the Lehigh home. I had heard that Janelle had received an inheritance. And in the book, they made it sound like that everything was still good between Janelle and Cody at the time that they were all in 3 separate places in Wyoming. And that this house that Cody found, she was all on board when she heard about it and thought, oh, it's the perfect solution. I'll have my own autonomy, my own space. Yes, let's do it. I heard through other grapevine, now it's the grapevine and it could be the Reddit grapevine, so who knows if there's any truth to it. But I heard that Cody really wooed her into getting back together with him because she had an inheritance that could help pay for that house, and there was no way they could do it without her. And I mean, it had 3 units anyway, so it would make sense that they would want her to be a part of it. But I don't know the intricacies of that. Lynn, you didn't let your kids jump on the furniture either. Boo, Lynn. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I did, but maybe that's because I never really had anything nice. So that's on me. All right. Mama Squirrel broke 2 legs off her bed when she was young. I used to jump on my bed when I was like, I know my kids did because they would do this too. Not as much as I did though. I remember jumping on the bed because those wood slats underneath that sat on top of the metal rungs would always, when you jump on the bed, somehow they tend to shift and then they fall down. And then we could never put them back on together. So then we'd get in trouble. All right. Oh, that's an interesting perspective there, Becky. Christine probably took over the child rearing because she and Janelle thought that Meri was too strict. It could have been that the two of them went to Cody and said, we need to make a change, that this isn't working. And so that's when Meri went back and Christine became more of a primary caregiver. It could be. Could be. There is something called gentle parenting. There is. There is a way to handle kids. All right. I am not going to be able to read all of this. I'm going to start back on the book again. How much brown debt have the others had to absorb? It's a really good question. Oh, Julianne has like some stats here. Coming with the numbers, with the deets, Julianne. Janelle was first bankruptcy in 1997 for $20,000. Cody and Meri did a joint bankruptcy in 2005 for over $80,000 in credit card bills. Wow. That's crazy. They were really... Wow. I thought Janelle made a decent income. That means nobody else was really pitching in. I mean, somebody has to watch the kids, of course, because you can't pay for childcare. But my goodness, there's 4 adults. How did they get that much? All those sports cars. I don't know. And did Christine also file bankruptcy? Do you know, Julianne? Because I feel like I heard all 3 of them did at one point, that Cody had all of them. Cody and Meri had to do it together because they were legally married. But he kind of spread it out and made each wife claim a bankruptcy at one point. I don't know if Christine ever had to or not. All right. Christine lived in a separate apartment because she wanted to be alone. Yeah, she did. Lynn Skinner. You're going to need a drink after this. Wait, let me hit the little smiley face. Oh, it takes it off the screen. Let me put it back on. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for my alcohol stash. You're awesome, Lynn. Thank you so much. Gwen said that Meri was the only one who knew how to discipline. Lori said, that is true. That was also right at the time when she was mad at Christine because TLC had made a big deal at Christine's engagement party, which I can't wait to see because I would just want to see how it all panned out. Gwendolyn was very upset. She was very anti-Cody for the longest time. I used to watch her stuff. She used to have it on YouTube before she went strictly to Patreon. So she had some stuff on Patreon, but stuff on YouTube too. Or she would put it on Patreon first and then put it on YouTube, and then she eventually stopped that. But so at that time, I was watching on YouTube some of the stuff she posted, and boy, she was not a Cody supporter at all, and really not a Robin supporter. She was very anti-Robin, not very happy about Cody, and very supportive of her mom. So then I was shocked when I kept hearing all this stuff, but then I had heard that it was because of the engagement party, and that she felt like it got hijacked and it was all about David meeting Cody because Christine came with David, who I feel like she was engaged to at the time or close to it. Like, I think he was a significant person in her life. So I don't think it was out of place for her to bring David. But I think what she was upset about was the fact that it became all about David and Cody. And David doesn't strike me as somebody who wants it to be all about David and Cody. So I feel like it was just that the cameras focused there because the producers thought this is a great storyline. You kind of can't blame them in a way because that's their job, but it does stink if it is your engagement party. If indeed it was completely hijacked. Was it all about them and then nobody was over talking with or celebrating Gwen and her wife, whose name escapes me? I don't know. That's why I just want to see it. All right. Ian thinks that Meri expected Mariah to receive preferential treatment, and so if she complained to her mom, Meri didn't like it. I could see that. Lynn, you kept everything your kids gave you to. I do. I have all the little clay dishes that they made in art classes and all that. I'll have trinkets like paper clips and some in one place. They may not match the room whatsoever, but I've got little random clay dishes. I had 3 kids all over the place. All right. All right, I'm going to keep reading. This is fun. I'm reading what you all are saying, and I've forgotten that I'm supposed to be reading to you. I apologize for those of you who've come for the book. I did have somebody leave me a comment after one of my book reads. It was something like, oh my God, we're 27 minutes in and she's only read 1 page. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say hi to everybody. I'm going to talk to the chat. And then I think I had paused already twice on the first page. And I must have said it's only the first page because how would she know it's the first page? So, yeah. And again, I stop and pause and I comment, and I comment to you all about the book, and I comment about the book so that we stay within the bounds of the fair use laws in terms of copyrighted material. All right. Can't just read it straight. Won't let me do it. It'll eventually get taken down, and I don't want my channel taken down, so I'm going to follow the law. Okay. Mariah is 16 now, so discipline is somewhat a thing of the past in my house. When the kids were younger and I had a more active role in their day-to-day parenting, I would choose a punishment to fit the situation. If a child hit another child with a toy, he didn't get to play with that toy anymore. If a child didn't clean up his or her room, he or she didn't get to sleep at night. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't say that. If a child didn't clean up his or her room, he or she didn't get to play outside with the other kids until it was done. I never disciplined the kids if I didn't think they could understand how to correct their behavior. As the kids, okay, can I just say, from a parenting perspective, I agree and I disagree with this statement, and it's all about how she went about it. If she said, okay, it's time to clean up rooms, and a bunch of rooms got cleaned up and one wasn't cleaned up to her liking, and then she said, okay, this isn't good enough. Everyone go play. You don't get to play. You have to keep cleaning up until it's, to the level that it was expected of you. That's wrong. Now, I don't think she did this, but the proper way to do it would be to say, okay, this is exactly what I expect you to do in your rooms. The floors have to be cleaned up, the surfaces of your desks dusted, your beds made, and I don't know, what else? Your laundry hamper taken to the laundry room so that it's empty. And once all those things are done, you get to go outside. If they're not done, so then they get They know what the consequence is going to be before they even begin. You will have to stay here until it is done, which means your brothers and sisters will be going outside to play before you. Does everybody understand? Then it's okay. I just don't think those steps were taken. I don't think the kids knew ahead of time. I think that I got the impression that they were scared of Meri, and I think they were scared of Meri because discipline would just come at them without an explanation ahead of time of what the parameters and expectations were. That's my opinion. I'm going to agree or disagree. It's okay. As the kids have grown older, however, I've taken a back seat in affairs and don't concern my own child directly. I realize that my sister wives and I have different ideas about what is a punishable offense and what isn't. I also realize that the other moms need the space and freedom to do their own thing in their own way. Of course, I can't always ignore it when the kids do something wrong. She just said, now that the kids are older, I've taken a back seat. Let the moms do what they want. Of course, I can't always ignore it when I see them do something wrong. I can't help myself. As recently as this summer, I felt I had to step in and correct a situation that had gone on too long and needed to change. Ever since Robin joined the family, we've been dealing with the typical blended family scenario. Several of Christine and Janelle's kids hadn't been acting like they wanted to accept Robin as a parent or accept her kids as their siblings. I understand that this is a problem many other families face, yet I know it is still difficult on the kids. Several of the adults began to notice that some of the younger teenage boys were picking on Robin's little girls. Now, this could have just been seen as Big Brother's typical treatment of little sisters, but I think it's bothering the girls. It shouldn't be allowed to continue. Oh, if it's bothering the girls, it shouldn't be allowed to continue. It had gone on too long, and in my opinion, nothing was being done to change it. On a camping trip, things became too aggressive for me to brush aside any longer. A few of the boys were picking on one of the little girls and making her cry. I had enough of it. I just want to know if that's 100% true. Were the boys constantly picking on the girl to the point that she cried, which you can then classify as bullying when it's pervasive to the point that you're going to break somebody down? Or were the little girls crying over something silly and stupid, and then the boys were making fun of them, and so then that got perceived as making them cry? Do you see how those could be two different things? Did I explain myself well enough on that? In my mind, they're two completely different things. Because it seems like they had a tendency, especially Brianna, to cry a lot at things they didn't need to cry about. Now, that doesn't excuse the boys. The boys still should have never picked on them, and I agree with that. But I don't know how this is being framed, if it's 100% true or not. It could be. It could be. Just throwing that out there. Meri writes, I had enough of it. I got after the kids, telling them that they'd better shape up and start treating one another with more respect. I told them that Robin's kids are their siblings, whether they like it or not, and they better start treating them like it. As I was speaking, I noticed that Janelle and Christine just stood there and didn't say anything to back me up. I felt betrayed by their lack of support. I feel strongly that the adults in the family must show a united front to the children so they know we are all in this together and we will support one another's decisions. I think it is very detrimental to let children think they can play one parent against another. But not all the wives feel this way. In fact, later on, Christine told me that she thought I was completely out of line for speaking my mind at that moment. Again, I have so many questions. All right, so where do we begin? Meri just got finished saying Her daughter's 16 years old. She doesn't see the need anymore to be intervening in the family, so she's taking a step back. However, when I see something go on, I can't help myself. And as recently as just this past summer, this is how I inserted myself. Was this the time on the show? I don't remember them camping then, but they may have been camping. I thought they were just going out for ice cream, but maybe they were camping and then they got ice cream while they were camping. When Meri was yelling at the boys. You know what? I never lived in a polygamous family. But I can tell you that if, like, I was hanging out with my sister and her kids and we were at the zoo and a bunch of stuff was going on and my son did something silly and stupid and wrong and my sister laid into him, I wouldn't have been happy about it. I've been like, right here. Let me handle it. I feel like in that situation, her place would have been to go up to me and say, I'm not comfortable with this. Can you tell your son to not do this or not do that or behave in this way instead? So I can see that that's probably how Janelle and Christine felt in that moment. Like, not so happy about you here right now. So no, they're not backing her up because they would have preferred her to tell them, hey, I just noticed this is going on. Do you want to do something about it? It's up to them if they would have done it or not, but I don't know. I just need more information, I guess. But since Christine told her that she thought she was completely out of line, I'm thinking she probably was. Or at least a little out of line, if not completely out of line. All right. Meri says, let me just click on the chat here real quick. All right. Let me get it back to where I am in live chat. Again, for all of you, and I forgot to say this at the beginning, for all of you who, and this is my fault, so I may have been reading comments out of a sequence as well. At the very top, the little arrow says Top Chat. If you click on the arrow and go to Live Chat, then you'll get everything in chronological order in the chat. Whereas Top Chat is YouTube putting what they think you want to see at the beginning. All right. Janelle filed for bankruptcy to pay for Maddie's surgery. Interesting. Okay. Right. They put all the debt on one person. It wasn't just Janelle's. That's true. When Cody wanted a wife to file for bankruptcy, he made sure that all the other wives had no debt at all and they accrued it all. So then it looked, the family had all this debt, and then they would file bankruptcy to get clean. It is kind of fraudy when you think about it. Anyway. All right. Christine did file for bankruptcy, Ian said. Okay. And yeah, Robin would have filed too, had it not been for the show. There you go. Rhonda, good question. Who knows how little Cody contributed? Huh. No say. All right. $80,000. A lot of money. All right. Meri kind of believed Brianna didn't fully created a scene only to find out they didn't really do much. Are you saying that Meri believe that Brianna was telling the truth about being sad. Well, in that scene, Brianna was the one crying. Brianna was always the one crying. And she feels like the other moms didn't figure out who was the culprit, and so that's what made Meri really mad, that they didn't investigate or really believe Brianna. I mean, the moms were probably over her crying too, because they raised their kids to not be criers, including all the girls. They were all tough, stand on your own, stick up for yourself girls. All right, they were on a trip to Big Bear when it happened. Thanks, Hillary. I didn't remember that. All right. Okay. Becky says, when we were cryberries, Mom would say, if you don't stop whining, I'll give you something to really cry about. My mother said the same thing. I'll give you something to cry about. It's from that whole, they were raised in the generation of watching, what was that? Not Moonshiners, Ethel. I mean, it would be terrible now. The husband would always say that about his wife. I think it was Ethel, but no, Ethel was with Lucy, wasn't it? It was the other show. It was called Moon something. And the husband would always tell his wife, I'll give you something to cry about or fuss about. And he'd always have like a fist, like he was going to hit her. Oh my gosh, how times were so different back then. I want to say it was kind of like set in the 50s, but I don't know when it was shot. Honeymooners. Thank you, Lynn Skinner. It was the Honeymooners. I've only seen clips of it. I've never really watched the show. Honeymooners. Yes, yes, yes. Teresa, your parent said the same thing. Yeah, to the moon, Alice. That's it. He'd say, to the moon with you, Alice. Send her to the moon. That's right. Oh, I'm sorry. I never really saw it. I've just seen clips of it. But my goodness, well, things have changed. How horrible if people would even just say that to their spouses now, but certainly would not get on TV. Yes, to the moon, Alice. One of these days, Alice. See, you all know. So you were watching it. I never watched it. I did watch I Love Lucy. I loved I Love Lucy, but I never watched Honeymooners. Okay. I'm going to continue on here. If I can figure out where I am. Teresa, yeah, I think that may have been this situation. Because she was yelling at all of them out there, and then the cameras were rolling too, although somebody said that she forgot the cameras were going, which, I mean, they do say they forget about the cameras being there. It's hard to believe as somebody who's not been in that situation, but they do say that eventually you put your guard down and you forget cameras are even there. They almost become like second family. So apparently she wouldn't have yelled at them if she would have realized the cameras were on. Okay. Ruth Carroll, let's review Honeymooners. We could put that on Patreon too. I can't put it on this channel because it would just kill the channel and the algorithm would make it stop going out. That's why I also started the sub channel. Any other shows that I review go there because they don't get as many views as Sister Wife stuff does, and then the algorithm sees that less people are watching it. They don't know that it's different content in a different show, and it thinks that you're just not being as good as a content creator. So then it's less likely to try to give your channel a recommendation, or you may want to watch this, you know, like for you or recommended for you kind of stuff. That's all part of the algorithm. So that's part of the reason why I have a secondary channel. The other part of the reason is in the event this gets shut down, we can all jump over there and just keep doing Sister Wives. So, and if you haven't been on that channel, thank you. Like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't and you're sitting here watching. Please do that. And the other channel is Reality TV Breakdown. Reality TV Breakdown. So go ahead and watch Reality TV Breakdown, and let's read some more. Like, subscribe, comment on all of them. Okay. And pretty soon my Seeking Sister Wives review from this past week will be up. I am halfway through editing it right now. All right. All right, so she said she took a back seat. She thought I was completely out of my mind. Okay. My form of parenting is to take care of things immediately when the transgression is fresh in the children's mind so they can understand why they are being disciplined. Therefore, I jumped in when I did and talked to the kids about their behavior. Well, I don't think she talked. I think she kind of yelled, but that's okay. Tomato, tomato. Christine would have preferred to wait until later and talk to the kids individually. I'm sure there are pros and cons for each approach. This was just one of those times where we needed to remember to be patient and forgiving with each other. Deep down, we're all working toward the same goal, a happy, healthy, and orderly family. Obviously, as our children have grown up, one of the major questions in our household has to do with dating. When the kids were little, the adults always said they would be allowed to date at 16. But now that this time has come for many of the kids, we parents have realized that things are not so black and white. We often don't agree with the children or with one another on what constitutes a date. Is it a group of kids hanging out together? No. I can answer that. It's not a date. When two kids are hanging out one-on-one, yes, that's a date. If they're interested in each other, yes. Or just when there's romantic interest involved. I feel, well, see, the thing is, kids aren't always going to be honest about that. When there's opposite genders involved and it's just one-on-one, then unless you know this situation, you should be suspect and assume, because kids are sneaky. I feel that some of our kids are mature enough to handle themselves on a date, while others might take a few more liberties than I would prefer. We have to figure out a fair way to permit one child to do something another one cannot, something that is difficult for any parent with children of any age. As far as dating goes, I stand by my opinion that the kids should be at least 16. I agree with that. Kids don't have to be dating before they're 16 years old. Hang out in groups of friends. I don't think dating is necessary any younger than that. It just sets them up for mistakes or heartbreak. Before 16, kids don't have the fortitude to deal with emotional and romantic situations. As far as kissing, I think young people should really hold off until they find someone very special at an older and much more mature age. Kissing can lead to things that teenagers shouldn't get into and definitely don't have the maturity to handle. I'm in a fortunate position with Mariah when it comes to dating. While she has shown interest in young men, looks forward to dating in the future, she is committed to remaining in our faith and living our plural lifestyle. With this belief comes her commitment to remaining virtuous and chaste until marriage. She holds high expectations and standards for herself concerning dating, kissing, and intimacy, and she has every intention of living up to them. Of course she does. This is why Mariah always wanted to be the one that was in plural marriage, because I think she felt like she didn't have a choice. I think she felt like there's no way in this culture I'm ever going to be able to come out. Therefore, let me get into a marriage with lots of plural wives so the husband is with me as little as possible. And you can't blame her for thinking that, but I find it very interesting that Meri is writing how virtuous and upholding Mariah to the standard of being amazing and that she's going to be chaste and she's going to do all this stuff when she there's no way she would do any of that. But Meri didn't know at the time. And in the meantime, she's comparing the other kids to Mariah and saying, this one seems like she's going to be messing around and that one's too boy crazy and that one's talking about boys a lot and they're not ready yet. And it's not just maturity that's making her not kiss those boys. She does not want to. Where am I? Okay. She plans to finish high school, go on to college, and work toward her dream of becoming a doctor, and has said many times that she does not intend to get married until she's through at least a few years of college. I look forward to seeing her achieve those dreams. I expect she'll have her share of dating and heartbreak before she finds her soulmate, but I also know how stubborn she can be, and that she will live up to her own high standards. Yep, she has. That's a good thing. All right. Meri is so clueless when she was writing this. God bless her. Cody and I have talked many times about her passion and commitment to our faith, and are very proud of the path she's pursuing. In a lot of ways, I feel as if I have it easier with her choices than some of my sister wives have with their children. I have been absolutely blessed with her in so many ways. Yeah, you do, Meri, but not because God just blessed you with a great girl who wants to be chaste until she marries a man. Yeah. All right. There was something I was going to say here. Oh, Cody and I have talked many times about her passion and commitment to our faith. And she did say often she wanted to stay back home because of, her faith and her church and her friends and everything. She didn't want to go to Vegas, and then she was going to move back because of her faith. I'm really curious where her faith is right now. Does anyone know, or his faith, I guess we should say, their faith? Oh, goodness. This is so hard for a speech language pathologist. Please have grace. I'm old and I'm a speech language pathologist. They is a plural pronoun. And the LGBTQ community really screwed up by not just creating a new pronoun that is not he or she, and trying to take they and turn it into he. It's still a singular person. All right, I'm sorry. I know I don't offend anybody, but it's just the truth. And for somebody who teaches grammar, it's extremely difficult and confusing and hard when you've done it for 35 years to change. So, my apologies. But I do want to know where Leon's faith is right now, because Meri is mentioning it so often in here, and I wonder if that was just her or Leon's stance for explaining why there was going to be no intimacy until at least midway through college, when the consideration of marriage would come upon them. All right. That's true. This is why she was so shocked when Leon came out. Yeah, she was. I'm sorry, I should be clicking on things. I think there's conversation going on about Garrick a little bit here right now. Cody believes kissing is the exchanging of hormones. Yes, yeah. I remember that was in those early years when he was talking to McKelty and Tony, right? No, it was McKelty and the other boy. I don't remember his name. The boy that Cody made fun of because he wore a nice sweater and a collared shirt to his house to have the discussion with the father, and he told him he was going to take his man card away for dressing like that. Cody's great. Remember that scene. All right. Oh, if Meri only knew. Yeah, she didn't know. I had a better conversation in health class. Yeah. All right. At least Cody left the Holy Ghost out of it. Yes, Garrick from Seeking Sister Wives. Oh my goodness. Okay. Where am I? Mariah and I have always had a special bond. Obviously, we are in a unique position because our household is quite small. On the evenings when Cody isn't around, it's just the two of us. However, Mariah loves being part of a very large family. She often tells me the best thing about polygamy is not being an only child, which she would be if it wasn't a plural lifestyle. I argue with this philosophy. Y'all lived in different houses, so you kind of had your own families. It's the same thing when you live in a community where you have neighbors that have lots of kids and everyone goes running over to everybody else's house and hang out. You don't have to have a sister wife to have somebody that has kids. They could be cousins. They could be neighbors. They don't have to be half siblings. They don't. Okay. While her commitment to our faith is based on something deeply spiritual, I know that having lots of siblings and many loving parents is definitely a draw to the lifestyle. She doesn't always like being alone, and she doesn't like it too quiet, so our family fits her well. Since we moved to Las Vegas and we're in different homes so far apart from each other, we don't have the constant interaction with the rest of the family that we used to in Utah. And I think they were writing this book at the time that they were all in Utah, but still in homes, not in the cul-de-sac, the original homes. I think that's when they were writing this book. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Mary is the only one that was actually far away, though, which makes me very sad because she could have lived right next door to Robin because that house was available for rent, but it wasn't big enough for Mary. But that was Mary being selfish and not thinking about Mariah because Mariah wanted to hang out with her friends, and now she was too far away to her friends, her siblings. Now she was too far away, and they were all so close, so they were always staying at each other's house, and Mariah was by herself at home at night. That wasn't a good decision. Mariah and I definitely have different eating habits than the rest of the family, and now we're able to cater to our tastes more often. When we lived in Utah, I would buy more kid-friendly foods, knowing that very often I'd have a child or two extra at meal times. This doesn't happen quite as often now, so when the other kids come over and try to find something to eat, it's not too much fun for them. Mariah and I like to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, or things that need to be prepared, like salads or fish or chicken. Since there are only two of us to feed, we don't participate in the big family grocery trips with Janelle and Christine. There's no point in us buying perishable foods in bulk, and I don't have a lot of prepared foods in my cupboards. It even gets frustrating for Cody when he's home that he can't look in the cupboard or the fridge and grab something really quick. What age is it that you turn into your mom? I remember many times looking in my mom's full refrigerator, thinking there was nothing to eat. I think Cody feels like that at our house now. I'm pretty particular about what I like, so I haven't always had the best results when I've asked my sister wives to pick up groceries for me. I forget when I give them a list that I need to be very specific. I like my bananas a certain color, and I like certain kinds of lettuce. I forget that their versions of bananas or lettuce can be very different. It usually just makes more sense for me to shop on my own. I tend to make more frequent shopping trips, but buy less stuff than my sister wives. I mean, that's just common sense, is it not, people? I would never tell my sister, go buy me lettuce. I would say, I want romaine, or I want the mixed blend, or yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of lettuces. And if you want your bananas to be green, then you just write green bananas. I don't know. Mary did not need to get upset about things when she wasn't being clear on her shopping list. People can't read your mind. With only one child to feed, I have a lot more freedom and leisure at mealtimes, especially on nights Mariah decides to eat with some of her siblings, which can be frequent. Anytime any of our kids are over another house at mealtime, it's just a given that the child can stay for the meal. I know all of us moms have an open door policy for meals. Ooh, except for Robin. Or anything else when it comes to the children in our family. Robin and her kids have joined us for dinner at my house often. Okay, Robin and her kids would join you. Did the kids ever just stop by? No, I don't think so. I don't think there was a whole lot of that going on. Yes, Robin would take their hand and escort them over and say, we are going to Mary's house tonight for a field trip. Okay. There's no rhyme or reason to when this happens. It's just an important event. Sometimes, after she's been over for a while, we'll realize that we've lost track of time. Robin's daughter, Aurora, really likes to cook and is often the one who asks if they can come eat over. And can she be the one to make the pancakes for dinner? These evenings with Robin have happened with and without Cody present, and I enjoy both equally. These bonding moments, I doubt that. I doubt that. I don't think she enjoys them both equally. I think she enjoys the time with Robin and the kids without Cody, because Cody can't help but to show favoritism towards Robin. It has to be uncomfortable for her. I think she prefers to have Cody just to herself and then Robin by herself too. Or Cody with Robin and the rest of the wives all together. But I don't think that she would like to have Cody, Robin, and Robin's kids all over. In my opinion. In my humble opinion. These bonding moments are important to me, especially now that we all live so separately in Las Vegas. Back in Utah, in the big house, it was easy to interact with one another. There was a little more spontaneity. Now every family gathering needs to be planned in advance. We have family dinner every Friday, but with some of the teenagers having driver's license now, and all of them having friends and other activities, there's usually at least a kid or two missing from dinner. In addition, we have lunch together on Sunday afternoons. Whenever we have a family meal, every wife contributes something to help feed the family, unless the meal is a birthday party. In that event, the mother of the birthday boy or girl takes care of the preparations. Okay, now this is interesting because this came up when they stopped having the family. Remember Christine recently, season 18, season 17, I don't remember, said that she was upset that a lot of the family gathering tradition kind of things ended after Robin came in the family. So it looked like they were still trying to do it when they first moved to, which is the first time Robin was really part of their family. It was right when they moved to Vegas. They were there for, I want to say, 2 years before they moved into the cul-de-sac. And it seems like within that 2-year period of time, by the time they got to the cul-de-sac, the Friday dinners ended and the Sunday afternoon events, lunch, ended too. And Cody and Robin's explanation was, well, the teenagers are busy doing things. And I just remember thinking, that is the biggest cop-out I've ever heard. Like, one of my kids might not be here for Christmas. But we're not canceling Christmas. You know? Like, one person can't come, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have other children that would like to get together with their siblings. So there's more to it. Christine blamed, she didn't really blame Robin, but she said it just happened. When Robin came into the family, for some reason, all of this started ending. And Robin and Cody specifically said it was because the older kids were busy doing other things, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. The rest of the family can't get together because 100% of the kids aren't there. It was a bad excuse. Okay. Despite the distance between our houses, especially mine, the kids have as much freedom as they like to come and go as they please. Mariah has her driver's license now and my old car, so she has a lot of freedom to see her siblings pretty much whenever she wants. She spends almost all her free time with Aspen, Christine's oldest child, and Madison, Janelle's oldest daughter. Those 3 girls were all born within 3 or 4 months of one another and have always been very close. Of course, they still have the typical sibling rivalry that most teenage girls deal with, but they always come back to the fact that they are sisters and love one another and love hanging out with one another. It's been fun watching them grow up so close. Are the 3 of them still that close? I hope they are. I hope they are. Both Janelle and I have pools at our houses in Las Vegas, but Janelle's pool is more popular than mine because it's a little bigger and within walking distance of the other moms' houses. During the summer, the older kids tended to congregate at Janelle's house while the little kids came and swam at mine. While I love having the younger children over, the teenagers just don't hang out at my house enough. I miss that. In Utah, my part of the house was central in the home, so it was easy for the kids to just walk through the door and be in my house. It was definitely a more quiet part of the house, and the teenagers seemed to congregate there more often. Because I only have one child, my house has always been the quietest of all our homes. Certain kids are drawn to this quiet and ultimately to me and to what I can offer them. I don't think I would ever write that line, even if I really believed it in my soul. I don't think I would ever put it in print. I wouldn't say it out loud. I certainly wouldn't put it in a book and publish it. It seems a little egotistic. And of course, and they're drawn to me and what I can offer them. I mean, it's probably true. I don't know why it comes across as a little arrogant. Because I don't have all the extra responsibility and work that comes with having many small children, I can be focused on a child when he or she is in my home. I'm able to offer stability and structure to the kids, whether in the form of calm conversation or a quiet place to do their homework. It's interesting. You know, McKelty always said that she loved going to Janelle's because Janelle would always have conversations with her. She enjoyed conversation with Janelle because she said Janelle was like the smartest mom and really had an amazing way and perspective on things, that she enjoyed her point of view and that she always had a calm demeanor about her. So she enjoyed her for calm and stability. Over the years, I've formed an especially close bond with Christine's daughter, Isabel. We saw this on the show. Isabel was close with Meri. She and I just sort of click. There's something natural about our relationship. She loves to hang out with me, and when she's being particularly needy, Christine loves for her to hang out with me too. Isabel is really precocious and fun, but at age 8, she can be a handful. With 5 other children, Christine sometimes doesn't have the patience for Isabel. Rude. She didn't need to say that. That line's not necessary. That was mean. Christine doesn't have the patience sometimes for Isabel. I really like the fact that I can be there to handle Isabel when Christine is feeling overwhelmed with her. Christine will joke from time to time that Isabel should come live with me since she loves being at my house so much. Half the time, I'm not sure that she's joking. All right. She was not liking Christine the day she was writing this chapter. And can we just point out that when Isabel and McKelty and Truly all went over to Cody and Robin's house for Christmas, that's why Meri was so hurt about it. Do you remember how Meri said Isabel was here? And she goes, yeah. Oh, I didn't know you didn't know. You know, Robin, I didn't know what's going on. This family just doesn't communicate. Robin. Anyway, that's why she was hurt, because growing up, she was very close with Isabel. In the years since I first met Robin and her kids, I've also developed a close relationship with her oldest son, Dayton. He and I have a fun, quirky relationship. I think the initial bond for us was that we share a birthday. One of Cody's traditions for all his kids' birthdays is to take that child and his or her mom out for a special birthday date. This didn't happen for Gabe, did it? No. This could be anything from shopping for new clothes to going to dinner and a movie. Since Dayton and I share a birthday, he gets a special birthday bonus. He and I will go out and do something, just the two of us. It's something I can do for him that helps to build and cement our relationship. That's cute. I like that she did that. My bond with Dayton and all of Robin's kids has definitely been an added bonus in the relationship Robin and I already have. In fact, when I found out Robin was pregnant, it was easy to quickly form a bond with her unborn child. Early in her pregnancy, I told her that we were going to need to get some baby things at my house too, since I was sure that her baby would be spending plenty of time there. She agreed and seemed to like the connection I was forging with her baby. In fact, at her baby shower, she got duplicates of one of the gifts, a baby bouncer seat, and instead of returning one and getting something else that she needed, she left one of them at my house to use when her baby is here. I also did a little shopping and got a few baby boy outfits for him to use while at my house. I was very excited and looking forward to when Solomon would finally be born. Now that he's here, I get together with her often so I can see him and hold him and form a lifetime bond. I love being part of such a large and dynamic family. There is always something going on with our kids: graduations, sporting events, performances. My sister wives and I are constantly calling or texting one another, keeping everyone aware of all the events in the family, except for birthdays. Keeping up with our schedule alone can be a full-time job. While the whole family doesn't usually get to every event, we do our best to make sure there is at least some of the family in attendance. I try to get to the kids' activities as often as I can, like Hunter's football games. Even though I understand very little about the game, it's fun being there and supporting him from the bleachers. Unfortunately, this last season, I only made it to one of Hunter's games. Mariah and some of the other kids, however, attended many more of them. It's so fun to watch the closeness between the kids and how they support one another in their sporting events and activities. It has especially been exciting to see the evolution of the kids over this first year in Vegas. From some of them being so upset and sad about our move, to where they are now, being involved with new friends, teams, and activities. Unfortunately, with such a large family, one of the problems is that not every event has a large show of family support. At one of Mariah's recent school choir concerts, Cody and I were the only family members in attendance. I wish that more of our family had been there to show their support. But I understand that there's always something going on, whether it's another event, errands to run, or a mom just needing to take a little break and not go anywhere on that particular day. Since we've moved to Las Vegas, our lives have become busier than ever. I really wish the 5 of us adults had a chance to get together socially more often, but it just doesn't seem possible more than once a month. I don't understand that, to be quite honest with you. The fact that these sister wives never did anything together, I don't get it. I think they just didn't like each other. Because if they really did like each other, they would make a point to do things together and get the kids together. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I think that's true now, too, because we see Christine and Janelle getting together all the time, and they live in different states. But they make a point of getting together. And Robin and Meri used to be together, but Robin isn't doing it anymore. So it seems like Robin really doesn't like any of the sister wives. Not even Meri, because she's not getting together with Meri. Okay. Oh, we spend a lot of time together when the kids are in school, or at least twice weekly, but those times are business and organizational meetings. When we do have the chance to break away, we sometimes have to make conscious efforts to not talk business, but to enjoy one another's company. Whenever the adults try to get together, my sister wives have to figure out whether their older kids are willing and available to watch the younger ones. I have to say, though, having just one 16-year-old, it's kind of nice to not have to worry about babysitters or homework anymore. Mariah doesn't have to miss out on the experience of babysitting her siblings, though. She is often over at Robin's house, helping out with her kids, and is happy to do it. Okay. Only Robin's house. Another thing we try to do fairly often as wives is go out to lunch and reconnect every once in a while. Okay. In the same sentence, she said they do it fairly often and then ends the sentence with every once in a while. Since we've been in Las Vegas and we live so separately and our lives have become so busy, meeting like this is a nice break. We do this while the kids are in school, so hopefully while we're away, Cody is also taking the time away from wives and family to renew his own energy. Lordy. He puts so much out to all of us that it's important for him to have some rejuvenating time as well. I want to know how many times during the day they actually had these lunch breaks that were not being filmed for the show. We know we saw some film for the show. I wonder how often it happened if there wasn't a camera present. I don't think very often. Absolutely too soon, Mariah is going to move out of the house. She will graduate from high school in 2013, and she is determined and excited to go back to Utah for college. While I'll be sad to see her go, I understand her wanting to return to Utah and get reacquainted with our church community. I'm proud of the commitment she has to her faith and her desire to return to it, in spite of having to leave her family. She is very excited and looks forward to going back to the friends she left when we moved here a year ago. I've heard that when people become empty nesters, they have to figure out who they are again. This is kind of how I'm feeling right now. I think in particular, I'll have to figure out what my place is in this family again. It will be a new chapter in my life and my evolution as a sister wife, and it will be interesting to see how it all plays out. Whenever I talk to Robin about this, she is so cute. "You still have kids, Meri. You still have kids," she insists. She's right. I know I do. But it's different from actually having them in my home full time and having that constant influence over them. I'm at a major fork in the road of my life right now, with some major decisions to make. And so far, I have no idea which path I will take. On my list of possibilities, these three stand out. I can continue my schooling and work toward my dream of becoming a counselor working with at-risk youth. I have the chance to pursue one of our family businesses by doing some humanitarian work and traveling with friends and family to new places I've never been before. Oh, those are two separate things. It was written kind of funny. So humanitarian work, going back to college and becoming a counselor with at-risk youth, or traveling. The third that is one. The third possibility, it's a new paragraph. Okay, so this paragraph had two of them. One is the chance to go to school and get her degree so she can be an at-risk youth counselor. Two, pursue one of the family businesses by doing humanitarian work and traveling with friends and family to new places she's never been before. I don't know how that's all one thing, but that sounds like almost 3 different things. But okay, that's 2. And 3, the third possibility wouldn't be, oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, this book trying to make sense of it. 1, she could go to school, become an at-risk counselor. 2, she can pursue one of the family businesses by doing humanitarian work. I don't know how you pursue a family business by doing humanitarian work, but that's what it says. Or 3, traveling with friends and family to new places you've never been before. The third possibility wouldn't be possible if I didn't have sister wives. Over the last couple of years, I have been blessed to experience this true love that 2 sister wives can share. Robin has shown me this many times, most recently after the birth of her son. Knowing that I have often dreamed of having more children of my own, and knowing that my body is very resistant to the idea, she pulled me aside, and with only the love that a sister wife could give or understand, she offered to carry a child for Cody and me. This would mean becoming a mother again in a way I never would have thought possible. If that would have happened, I think Meri would still be with the family because she would feel stuck and obligated. I feel like Robin would pull the "I carried your child" card for her whole life and make Meri stay in a lack of relationship. I mean, she's not in a marriage and she's not in a relationship, but just stay and give the family money because of that. So by her saying no to that offer, Meri has allowed herself to be free now. 1 paragraph left. All 3 are amazing opportunities that no doubt will fulfill my life in a way I probably never could have imagined. I don't think any of my opinions are right or wrong for me. They're just choices with different and amazing outcomes. As I continue to live my life, loving every moment I have with Mariah until she moves on to college and her adult life, I will do the best I can for myself and my family in the role that I am in. And I will work toward writing the newest upcoming chapter in the book of my life. I look forward to the future with hope and anticipation, fully expecting life to bring me all the happiness and fulfillment that I've had in the past, and then some. I have no doubt that it will be a truly amazing chapter. The end. Yes, well, the next chapter of her life was truly amazing, but not in a great way, unfortunately. At all. Poor Meri. She had a rough go of it, people, after all of that. Interesting. It seemed like it was a chapter throwing a lot of dirt at Christine. Not much mention of Janelle at all, like she wasn't even part of the family, and saying how amazing Robin was. Yeah. That seems to be where we are. All right, people, gonna take a look at this chat before we close out here today. Let me get it back on live chat. I don't know why it goes off. Okay. All right. Jackie Gleason. Oh, yeah, that was the Honeymooners, wasn't it? She had the same amount of grocery money for 2 that Janelle and Christine had for 7. Yeah. Was Solomon born? Were they still living in separate houses? So you probably wrote that before I actually read it, that indeed Meri had stuff at her house, because when Robin had 2 of something, she gave it to Meri, and then Meri went and bought her own clothes and that, just so that. I just don't know how much she actually watched Solomon. Maybe for an hour here or there. I just don't see Robin letting go of that control. And when Solomon was even older, like was he a toddler or was he 5 or something like that? And Meri wanted to take him on the trip to see Mariah because Mariah and Solomon were always close. It was a no for Robin. All right. Meri saw how much Janelle liked the rental in Vegas, so she gave it up because of that. It is true. I do remember that. When Janelle went into the one house, instantly she said, I love this house. It was her. Didn't she walk into it first, though? I do remember Janelle absolutely falling in love with the house she ended up with right away, but I feel like it was the first one she walked into. Was Meri going to take it first? It made sense for Janelle to take it because it had a lot of bedrooms, I remember. My son used to stare at the fridge like there was a TV in there. They like Christine's food. They didn't like Meri's fruits and vegetables. Yeah, my kids, not until they were in their 20s, really started enjoying fruits and vegetables. And my son still doesn't like fruits. And some vegetables. Just not a fruit fan. They all did better without Cody. Yeah, life got better, didn't it? For all of them? That was the upside of Flagstaff. As dumb as the Flagstaff thing was, in the end, it ended up being a good thing because it's what gave the wives independence to realize, wait, I can't do this on my own, and he's pretty rotten to me, so I am going to do it on my own. Speech pathologist question. Do you know why some of them say dill instead of deal? I can't figure out the origin of their dialect. I have heard you're most familiar with the dialect of the area that you live in and I'm Midwest, but I have heard that Idaho, and I also know some Virginia stuff, and I also know Black vernacular dialect. Those are all the ones I'm familiar with because those are the kids that I would work with. So not as familiar with the dialect of Idaho, but I have heard that yes, indeed, this EA words, changing it to a short I, is something they do. So Utah, Idaho, kind of in that area. I have to pay attention. My son-in-law is from Idaho, so the next time I talk with him, I'm going to have to listen or give him some examples of words or just give him words to say and have him say them so I can listen and see if he does it in the Idaho area too. But somebody said it was both Idaho and Utah that they do that. So what the name of that dialect is, I don't know. I do know that North Carolina, that I's before N's, or E's before N's, they change to an I. So, and my husband spent some time in North Carolina, kind of college years, a couple years, and he picked it up right away and always said it. So he would call me Ginny instead of Jenny for the longest time. Now, he eventually fixed it and I became Jenny, but I remember for a while, like my father-in-law would like send me a card and it would say Ginny because he just thought my name was Ginny. That's what my husband would say. And my husband thought he was saying Jenny. They would also switch. It was the I's and E's would get mixed, actually introverted with certain letters. I know I before an L there also got changed to a short E. So a pillow was a pellow. So he always said pellow. Well, that drove me nuts. I fixed that right away. I'm like, you're not going to be saying pillow in this house. It's a pillow. All right. Let's see, season 18. Was Meri as picky with her pool as she was with her furniture? Not very inviting. That's a good question. I know maybe if there were a whole bunch of rules, it was just more fun. But the little kids probably wouldn't have minded. So that's probably why she had the little ones, and the older ones are like, no, we'll go to Janelle's. Well, and the majority of the older ones were at Janelle's, so it made sense for them to go to Janelle's too. Valadia, I agree, Jenny. Yes, thank you. I have no idea what I was saying at the time. Renee joined on. Hi, Renee. She's just starting it over because she joined late. That's great. Mary did have a lot of her grandmother's antiques. That's a good point, Teresa Skinner, in terms of her not liking the kids. I mean, I don't know that the couch was an antique, but I know that she's moved from house to house some of family heirlooms. Although I do too, and I still let my kids do whatever. Almost all my furniture in my first house was all hand-me-downs from my grandmothers. And what broke, and what I still have, I still have. I think it's great that the OG 13 kids still act like siblings. Robin should be ashamed of herself, calling the other kids unsafe and keeping her kids out of the mix. Yeah, she shot herself in the foot on that one. She really did. Oh, Waldo's mom, you didn't get notified? I'm so sorry you missed most of the show. You can go back and watch it, though. You can still like and subscribe. Well, you have subscribed. You can still comment and like. Go back and watch the whole thing. It'll be up forever. All right. I don't know why you didn't get a notification. There's two places you can get notified. There's the bell, but I don't know if the bell always notifies you of lives or not. There's always another button that says notify me. So make sure you click the button that says notify me too when you see the thumbnail. And sometimes it's hard to see the thumbnail because it doesn't pop up on my main page. You have to click on at the top where it says live. So there's like videos and shorts, and then it says live. And why they don't have those lives on the main page, like even if like further down, makes no sense to me. It really bothers me that you have to actually click to go to see where the lives are. But if you click on that, you'll see when the next live is coming up, and you should be able to click on a little button down below it that says notify me, and hopefully then they'll notify you. And if you don't get any notifications, go into your settings and check and see what you have set up. Maybe it's going to like an old email address or something, or an old phone number, or maybe it just got entered incorrectly. And yes, you're right, Lynn. Mark your calendar. Go ahead, put an alert on your phone. It's always at 7 o'clock on Thursday nights. Almost always. There are 2 Browns games on Thursday nights. I don't know. You know what? We'll still do it. I'm going to bump it up. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to start earlier so that we're done by the time the Browns game, so we don't have to change days, but we will change times. Just because, not because the Browns are more important than you all are. Please. But it's a family thing. Our whole family are huge Cleveland Browns fans. My daughter, who lives in Tennessee, is a huge Cleveland Browns fan. When she was in California, in order to get her the games, I would have like a small TV with my laptop open to FaceTime, and so that it filled the whole screen. And then she would get it on her phone, and then she would AirPlay it from her phone to her television. Like, we had a whole setup so that she could see the Browns games. And now her and her husband basically go to the Browns backers bars if they can't see the game. But throughout the whole game, we're always texting like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Oh, that was so great. Oh no, what's going on? What's happening? Like, constantly. And then I have another group chat with like the rest of my family, my sister and her girls and my mom. So we have another chat that we're going where we're just like sending icons together. So it's kind of a family affair. So it's not just that I find the Cleveland Browns to be more important than sister friends. I don't. But it's a family activity that's important to me. All right. All right, we're going to wrap up here. I know there's a lot more chat. I'll read it later. Lori, you grew up in southern Utah, and this is a new one to you. I think he's in southern Utah too. It was Nampa, I think was the name of something like that. was the name of it? I want to say it was in the South, so maybe not. All right. Walter's mom, you'll pay attention next time you go. All right. Walter's, trust me, I'll go back and watch. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad you will. All right. Oh, and you're going to set your phone alarm. There you go. You can set it for set a regular alarm. You can go into the settings and make it on a certain day. So on that day, it goes off at that time and no other days during the week. All right. Oh, we would have to change you to anything but Browns. How about Chiefs? You know what I like about the Chiefs? I will say this, is that Travis Kelce is from Cleveland and is a huge supporter of Cleveland still. In fact, I think he's going to be here for a celebrity baseball game with a lot of athletes. Oh, that fan is blowing the papers, and I thought a cat was in here. And I'm like, how did they get in? So I think his family still owns a house in Cleveland Heights. So we do like that about the Chiefs. But we're ready to beat the Chiefs this year. Waldo's mom, you just wait. All right. Speaking of different Browns, Betty says, what humanitarian work were the Browns involved in? Great question. That was one of her three choices, right? The family's humanitarian work. What's humanitarian work? Never heard anything about it, have we? Seems like that's something that they would highlight on the show. Good question. Good question. Carol, your husband's a Browns fan. Love it. What was I going to say? Go Dogs. It's been too many months since we've had football. I forgot what the Browns were referred to as. They're the Dogs. Lori, thank you so much for the super chat. That's kind of you. I appreciate it. Awesome. And your first super chat on a live stream. I'm honored that it was on this channel. I appreciate it. And very good question to you, Betty B. I wonder how amazing Meri thinks Robin is now. Right? Yeah. Very good question. Very good question. All right. Teresa Skinner. God bless you. That is a very generous super chat. I appreciate you. And a very cute. Oh, I love that. That little hugging thing. I have to go in and look at all the little options that they have in there. That's amazing. Okay. All right. Oh, Carol, you watch New Height every week? I don't catch it that often. But everything that's kind of Cleveland related ends up becoming a clip that ends up getting shared on YouTube or some other streaming Twitter or something. So I usually catch the little bits and parts of it. That is a podcast with Travis Kelce and his brother, Jason Kelce. Why does Jason sound funny? Anyway, the Kelce brothers. All right, I'm going to sign off here. Although I could talk Cleveland Browns for the next hour with y'all. I won't. And the numbers go down to 2. All right. So good to see you all. Thank you, everybody, for being here in the live chat. I appreciate it. Same time next week. And Sunday night, catch me live again. The thumbnail will go up sometime on Sunday as soon as I get it. My goal is on Thursdays now, I don't get out of this chair until I create the thumbnail and the link and everything for the following Thursday. So I should have it posted this evening for next Thursday. So you can get to it right away and click on notify me. Sometimes on Sunday, James will send me the thumbnail to go with our live chat for that night. So as soon as I get it, I'll post that. And you can click on that. Worst case scenario, it'll get posted right before we go live. Good night, everybody. It was good seeing you all. Take care. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy the nice weather as it keeps getting nice. Thank you again for my moderators for moderating. I appreciate you. See you next week. Bye-bye.